Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, any questions, clarifications on what we had done last time, or shall we go ahead?
Swamiji,
Yeah.
you had explained Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava in the last class. So do they correspond to Shravanam, Maranam, Nididhyasana?
No, not that way. Because what the Shruti says has to be understood logically. Therefore, Yukti is necessary. Anubhava is your personal validation of it. Now, the means for that can be said Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. But you can't have a one-to-one correspondence with Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava. No. Because the amount of logic used will depend upon how complicated your mind is. Really. Simple, straightforward mind that says and she can see the truth directly, it is the truth. Because a lot of Viveka Vairagya has been there. So if that is not so much, then what we joke, मन में थोड़ा भूसा भरा हुआ है. A lot of stuff is there in the mind. So then you need a lot of logic to answer question, that, all that. Clarify things. So that way. Because whatever the Shruti says, really speaking, is beyond logic. It's only understood logically. Any pramana, unless they are logical pramanas like inference, arthapatti, etc. Other than that, direct pramanas are beyond logic. What is the logic in recognizing this is a pen? What logic do you need? Oh, it's a pen because it writes? Do you need that? Your perception has established this is a pen. You don't need any supporting logic for it. So direct. Atma is this way, fine. Yeah. But because there are doubts, etc., logic has to be used. But what is? Just because beyond logic doesn't mean you can become illogical. That's also important to see that. Because anything illogical is within logic. Because I can show the fallacies of it. If I can show the fallacies of it, means it's within logic. Otherwise, when you say beyond logic, then you will take it as belief and things like that, which it is not. It's not a belief system. Yeah. Nor is it something indirect. Because Atma is direct, so it has to be, knowledge also has to be direct. You can't have indirect knowledge of pen. That is direct knowledge. Even though you are separated by miles and you are seeing through the zoom and the cameras, it's still direct knowledge. Okay, any other questions?
A related question, Swamiji.
Yeah.
So if one has a lot of Shraddha in the Shruti, would they then require less Yukti and Anubhava? Is there a correspondence? Or?
No, not necessarily. Because the flip side of Shraddha is you will just believe blindly. Your understanding will become a block understanding. The nuances won't be clear. So a healthy Shraddha is necessary.
Okay.
Yeah. But it has to go beyond belief into understanding. Shraddha is acceptance that it's a pramana and it will work. So you respect the Shastra like how you respect your eyes. Your willing, wishing, etc. doesn't come into it. So that much is enough. Yeah. Blind Shraddha will never help. It will only block your understanding.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay? So others are clear about everything? Okay, then we'll go ahead. Okay. Okay. Then in the next verse, the 24th verse, he says, Neha nanati chatmanyat vindom maya bhirityapi ajayamano bahuda maya jayate tusaha. He's quoting the Shruti now. Neha nanasti kinchana. He says, there is no plurality whatsoever. Look at it. Here is where the logic comes in. Shruti has stated there is no plurality. But duality, plurality, is a fact of our experience. So my experience of the world, the duality of the world, experience, you don't even have to use the word experience, my knowledge of the world, that there are so many things, stands opposed, seemingly opposed to the pramana that is there. So now I need my yukti to understand how the manifoldness has come about. So the Shruti gives various examples. If the Shruti doesn't give, the Acharya is supposed to give. Okay. One gold, million ornaments. One water, million waves. All these examples are available to show that the duality is not real. We are not dismissing duality as an experiential reality for you. We are dismissing duality as a factual reality, as something that's real. Experientially it is there, so many things are there experientially. That's why I always say, Dvaita Pratiti is not against Advaita Siddhi. The experience of duality is not against the establishment of non-duality. Just like, here again, logic. Because I am giving an example. Example means logic. Just like walking on the experience of a flat earth does not dismiss the round earth. Yeah. Then why does it appear flat? You will have some reason for it. So here, globally, instead of going into each individual thing, we say Mayaya. That's why he's quoting from Purusha Suktam. Ajayamano bahuda vijayate. That which is not born, that which cannot be manifest in time, is manifest in time. That means what? It's not really manifest, it's Mayaya manifest. It only appears manifest. It only appears to be, have become many. One has become many, but one can never become many. One is timeless, spaceless, not conditioned by time and space. How can an entity that is not conditioned by time and space become many? It doesn't become many, it only appears as many. Now, where is the problem? The problem is the appearance and the instrument with which I deal with the appearance have both the same degree of reality. This is also appearance, that is also appearance. Therefore, there seems to be a validity. Therefore, it seems to be real. It's never real. It seems to be. Exactly like the dream seems to be real when you are in the dream. Why? Because the entity that's experiencing the dream and the dream both the same degree of reality. That's why I said earlier, Swakale Satyavad Bhati. In its own time, it appears real. So here also, it appears real. Because the experiencer in the world, same degree of reality. Experience I am talking about in terms of the Ahankara. The body, the mind. Same degree of reality. Because when you say everything is Maya, we leave ourselves out of the picture. Yeah, you can leave yourself as consciousness out of the picture. You can't leave yourself out in terms of body and mind out of the picture. That's what transacts with the world. So same degree of reality. Therefore an appearance of reality. And we are caught up in that appearance. Right. Therefore, ajayamano bahuda maya jayate tu saha. He adds that word. The actual quotation is ajayamano bahuda vijayate. And that he adds here mayaya, because there is no other way. Once you call it ajayamano, then bahuda vijayate, how is it possible? Not possible. But it appears like that. Okay. Okay, then sambhutehe apabadancha sambhava pratichidyate konvena janayediti karnam pratichidyate. Sambhutehe, sambhuti. We have come across this term sambhuti before. Anyone remembers where we came across it? Sambhutim cha, sambhutim cha. याद है? यही क्लास में किया है.
Mandukya.
No. One of the smaller Upanishads. Various types of... Huh? Isavasya, yes. Isavasya, yes. Yeah. Sambhutim cha, all the upasanas on both, all that thing. Okay. So, there, for the sake of different phalam, etc., lokas, etc., you are advised Sambhuti Upasana. Okay. But at the same time, another place, okay, or in the same place, you can say, the worship of Asambhuti is also negated. And not only that, Kena came, Kim Pashyet, etc., those type of statement are there. Who is there to see whom? So your subject-object experience are also negated. All this shows what? One, Karya-karana bhavam pratishuddhyate. It's very interesting, this thing. At one level, when you are talking about dharma as here and hereafter. Remember, dharma we generally take as only values, universal principles, etc. But dharma also includes whatever you do for your life hereafter. Because we take that as an experiential fact. Okay? In our perception of the world, we don't stop with birth and death, that's all. No. For us, rebirth, life in other dimensions are a given. In our understanding, it's a given. It is not something that even needs debate. Okay? Our worldview includes all that. So, you do certain things to take care of your afterlife. Smart, no? Isn't that intelligent? When you are working, do you not plan for your retirement? There's a new thinking going around. The amount of money you have in your account when you die is the amount of extra money that you have had. So we must plan to live in a manner that when we die, there's hardly any savings left. It sounds very nice. Do you know when you're going to die? So how are you going to plan when you don't know the deadline? You can more or less adjust for inflation, this, that, etc. You can do. Those kind of plannings can be done. You know how you're going to die, when you're going to die. And if you don't know when you're going to die, how you're going to know that this much of money is enough? All People will float any theory, without thinking. Yeah. And the need to leave a legacy is one of the basic human needs. Yeah. Anyway, that apart. So, planning for afterlife is a sensible thing to do. It's a practical thing to do. Like how you plan for retirement is equally valid. So all the good karmas, ishta, purti, all the thing that we do is not only meant to take care of things here, take care of my afterlife, next lifetime, etc. So all the rituals, the upasanas, all this is for that. All that in the functioning world. So in the functioning world, dharma is taken to account. When it comes to moksha, all that is negated. All that is negated. So sometimes it seems okay, Hinduism is talking in dual voices. No, it's not. We are talking from multiple standpoints. You have to be clear about the standpoint, that's all. Therefore, one place to do both Sambhuti and Asambhuti in Upasana is said. Another place is that for moksha none of this is necessary. Maximum it has some place in taking your mind ready. That's all. Okay. So, by the negation of Ansambhuti, he is saying, he proved that there is no Karya-Karana Bhava. Again, Karya-Karana Bhava. Vedanta uses cause-effect relationship to establish one Ishvara. It's important. Otherwise, how do you know that everything has come from one? The pramana has to be Ishvara. Mere logic cannot be. If you are talking about God as separate from creation, one God theory does not hold. Occidental religion said that one God as a reaction to old Greek and Roman concept of pantheism. It's reactionary. But if God and creation are separate, then pantheism makes more sense than one God theory. Why? To create a small building. Okay. We are creating a small little ashram out of in 3.5 acres of land. That's all we have. Close to 4. 50 rooms. That's all. Hall, kitchen, etc. Small little thing. You need an architect, you need a structural engineer, you need a civil engineer, you need a contractor, you need soil testing, you need masons, carpenters, plumbers, electricians. No. Fundraisers. So many for such a small little thing. When you're talking of the universe, you're talking of one character. Remember, he's separate from the world. If you separate from the world, one character is too much of load on him. Yeah? Have a pantheism, it makes more sense, is more logical. That type of one God is a pure belief system. Here it is different, because the creator and creation are not different. Abhinna nimitta upadana karana. So you have some sort of karya karana bhava to establish oneness. After that, to establish the reality that karya karana bhava is also dismissed as mithya. Because the karanam consciousness cannot change to become the world. Simple as that. Therefore, we establish a karya karana bhava in the beginning, and then it is dismissed. This is all where you pick up tips of how to explain also, okay? Yeah. Because that's where it is. Where is karya karana bhava? Not there. Yeah. Though in the beginning we'll talk about it. Okay. Karanam pratishidyate. Okay. Okay. Now he is giving you another point. Say Esha neti neti iti व्याख्यातं निगृहीते ततः सर्वं आग्रह्य भावेन हेतुना अजं प्रकाशते. सर्वं अग्राह्य भावेन, because the self is not an object of your knowledge. Agrahya bhavena. It is not something that you can objectify. It's not something that you need to objectify also. Since the self cannot be objectified, tat hetuna ajam prakashate. Therefore it is presented as ajam, free from time and space. Time here, time means space included. Now, therefore, how is the Upanishad going to reveal it? Neti neti iti bhavena. Everyone says neti neti iti, but what do you mean neti neti iti? How does it work? You are a conscious being. Of that there is no question. You exist, no question. Okay. Can I really ask a question? Prove that you exist. Give me proof of your existence. Passport. That's only proof of citizenship. You have to exist first before you become a citizen. Because you are asking me the stupid question. If I didn't exist, how will you ask me? Even that not necessary, because even if someone doesn't ask, still you exist. Therefore, your existence is self-evident. Swata siddham and swata jnatam also, self-evident also, because I know that I am. So from this, to know I am, I should be a conscious being. A box doesn't know I am. I know. That means only a conscious being will know. So from this conscious being, what are you doing? Negating any wrong idea about yourself. I am the body, I am the mind, I am my role, I am father, mother, brother, sister. All that. Responsible, useless, stupid. All those things. The labels, roles, body, mind, everything negated. Time, space, negated. So from this conscious being, all this is negated. What is left behind? Time and space also negated. Limitless consciousness. Neti, neti, iti. Yeah. Same way from Ishvara. Ishvara, what creator, Jagat Karna, then conscious being. Negate everything, including time and space. What will be left behind? Only pure consciousness. So, why do you use this idea of negation to reveal something? Because you already know you are. I am is self-evident. But I have mistaken that I to be something else. Therefore, all that something else is negated. When I say negate time and space, because I have taken myself to be a finite entity. That finitude is time and space. So everything negated. That I am a conscious being is self-evident. Don't miss that point. If you miss that point, what will you do by negating? I negated everything. Then you will sing. Bulla na jane मैं कौन हूँ. I am not Moses, I am not this, I am not that. I am okay, ठीक है Baba. Then who are you? Because I am that conscious being is forgotten there. So it had to start with that. I am the conscious being who was aware of the whole thing, therefore everything is negatable. Similarly, from Ishvara, everything is negatable, then what is left behind? Only one consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi iti. That's the revelation of the Shastra. It is not mere negation that you do on your own. If you are doing the negation on your own, you will come to that Bulla na jani. Yeah. You will know what you are not, but what I am. That is misdoubt. Yeah. Ishvara is misdoubt. Therefore, Sarvatma Bhava will never come. Even if by chance you come to the fact I am consciousness. That consciousness, everything will never come out because Ishvara is misdoubt. That's why there cannot be really secular Vedanta, without Ishvara Vedanta. Yeah, you can have Vedanta without all the cultural trappings that we have in India. That can be done. Yeah. Why? The cultural trappings enable Vedanta to grow. At the same time, we negate all their cultural trappings. No? It doesn't say culture is Satyam. He's saying Veda is Mithya, we are saying. What are you talking about? All your karma is Mithya, negated. No, I am a Nitya Agnihotri. How long? What do you mean by Nitya? Meaning all your life you have been an Agnihotri, maximum. Not even all your life. Only after you got married you started that. Before marriage you can't do Agnihotra. So that's where it is. Yeah. So what is this Nityam there about? It doesn't even have Pravaha Nityatvam. Because your whole life you didn't have it. First 25 years you didn't have it. So all karma is negated. So irrespective of the cultural bias, it can exist because culture is negated. The cultural bias helps. Help me be a better karma yogi, all that it helps. Yeah. So the cultural base helps all that. I accept it. But you can have Vedanta without that. But you can't have Nirishwara Vedanta. Like Nirishwara Sankhya, you can't have Nirishwara Vedanta. Because the moment you say totality, cause-effect relationship, because you need to establish the oneness. So to establish oneness, you need cause-effect relationship. So you need Ishvara there. And Ishvara is not negated. Ishvara is revealed as nothing but pure consciousness. Yeah, so only the Upadhi is negated. So there is the whole picture. Clear, or is there any questions? And why is it presented like that? Because grahya abhavena hetuna, he says. The simple reason is it is not an object of your knowledge. You can never objectify the Atma. You need not objectify the Atma because you know it as I. Thank God for that. You cannot and you need not. If you cannot objectify the Atma, and I was going to talk about the Atma, you'll never understand it. But because it happens to be you, you can understand it. Remember, the self-evident nature of the Atma, that it being immanent as I in every human being is very important to have. Otherwise, you will say beyond Atma, beyond Ananda, it will become. Somewhere in Timbuktu. Beyond the mind, beyond this, beyond that, all that stuff. Don't work. I have seen people getting stuck on this beyond stuff. So much so there is a person who has spoofed on it by calling himself Beyond Ananda. It's worth reading that book. It's a royal spoof on Vedanta, on Neo Vedanta actually. Yeah, good spoof. Yeah. I had a comic strip somewhere. I have to find out where it is. Sometimes I can't find my books. I have to sort of reorganize the whole thing. We talked about various modern aspects of Vedanta, So the Hatha Yogi, Karma Yogi, Bhakti Yogi, etc. is running a race. Karma Yogi, I don't expect to finish it. Jnana Yogi, I am only understanding the race. Hatha Yogi, I am witnessing the race. Bhakti Yogi, I am devoted to the race. Royal spoof, very good one. Okay, you should find that comic strip. Then maybe I can scan it and put it up on the group so you all can enjoy it. Suddenly remembered it. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is this immanent nature of the self, very important. You can't objectify, it's immanent. Yes, Sanchit, you have a question.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah.
So my question is, this self-evident I know I exist. Is that dependent on the mind or is that independent of the mind? The
No.
self-evidence.
It is not dependent on the mind in the sense it's not a mental process. There is no processing. There is no logical steps involved. But it is the knowledge, as a knowledge is manifest in your mind. Yes. That's another important thing. I'm glad you asked that because one very important thing is this knowledge has to be gained in the mind. The knowledge of the Atma has to be gained in the mind. Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. Why? Because the problem is in the mind. Ignorance is manifest in the mind and that is the problem. If there was something called ignorance but not manifest in the mind, there would be no problems.
Yeah.
Mind is a product of ignorance and therefore ignorance is manifest. Therefore, where should the knowledge happen? In the mind.
Mind.
Where the problem is, there the knowledge should happen. No, it's beyond the mind. Knowledge should happen beyond the mind. That's like saying, my drawing room is dirty, but go clean my bedroom. Bedroom is clean. Your drawing room is dirty, yeah? Come on. Are you getting the idea? Where the problem is, there the solution should be there.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
knowledge takes place beyond the mind. Atma is beyond the mind, yes. Atma is in and through the mind also. That later part is very, very important for understanding. Therefore, knowledge takes place in the mind. And Kritva Jnanam Swayam Nashyet, the thought having given you the knowledge, thought goes away. What remains? You know what you are. Because the thought goes away, taking ignorance with it.
Yeah.
So knowledge, ignorance, both gone. What is remaining? What I am. Very self-evident. I am that limitlessness. Very clear. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So that's the whole process of how you are understanding things. Very important then. Yeah. Because you don't use neti to put something beyond everything. It won't work. Like Yamaraja said in Kathopanishad, Gatiratra Nasti. That type of teaching, Gatiratra Nasti. There is no Gati there. There is no understanding. There is no hope, he says. Yeah. Because where is it? Yeah. But Swamiji, some Mahatmas have said it. Yes, they said it just to inspire people. And then they expected them to come and learn seriously. You get inspired by certain things. And then you learn seriously. Yeah. So, yes, Sanchit.
So, yeah. So, in fact, when someone says that Atma is beyond the mind, they are again ending up in duality. It's still not
Yeah.
non-dual.
If they are saying it's only beyond the mind, yeah, then there is duality. If they are saying it's beyond the mind and in and through the mind, then fine. then no
Yeah.
issues. Yeah. That's why I gave the space example. No? Always give that. The child saying, Swami uncle, where is space? They say, out there, yonder, where the sun and the and he wants to go in a rocket to see that space. It's not the child's foolishness, it's my dumbness. The way I have explained it.
Yeah.
So there is where the whole thing is. Neti Neti will work only if the self-evident Swayam Jyoti nature of the self is clear. Swayam Jyoti meaning known by itself. I know I am. I am and I know I am. Both. Only then it will work, not otherwise. Otherwise you will do Neti Neti. Otherwise what will happen? You will do Neti Neti. I am not the body, I am not the mind. You will also put on that Shankara's chant and sing. मनोबुद्धि अहंकारम शक्तानि ना अच्छा गाएगा बहुत अच्छा गाएगा I can't sing for nuts. I attended a Brazilian Amazonian session and they expected all of us to sing. Swamiji, please sing. I said, I can't sing for nuts. I have a substitute who will sing for me. And he is singing. Because that is to invoke the spirit. They said all the spirits will run away. If I sing, भाग जाएगा सब. So you will sing all that, but after that what? At this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not that. It feels nice. You get a sense of nice, beatitude like. After that what? After that take it back on. I'm the body only. भूख लग रहा है चलो ब्रेकफास्ट करो जाके. You can't, that negation doesn't last. Because along with the negation, the mithyatvam also has to be clear. What is negation but seeing it as mithya? You're not really negating the body, isn't it? That I am the body idea is all that is being negated. And the mithyatvam of the body is seen very clearly. So a mithya body is having a mithya hunger and you're eating mithya food to satisfy it. And you're getting a mithya satisfaction also. Yeah, what else is it? Whole life is this only, or kya? But at that level necessary, so do it. Yeah. So mithya emotions can be there. A wise person also will have mithya emotions. Someone will take it as satyam. A person who knows the truth will take the emotion as mithya. Therefore won't be afraid of any emotion. No, those emotions I can't have. I'm scared of it. It'll take me on the wrong path. What wrong path? What right path? What wrong path? There's no path here. The path is the track. This is like following the bird's footprints in the sky. The Upanishad says that. It's following the bird's footprints in the sky. Chalo. और क्या बात है? So this whole understanding of mithyatvam has to come into my life as real. Because the world is mithya, everything is mithya. Everything is time bound, space bound, not real. Everything is subject to objectification. Everything is subject to negation. So that can feel you a bit, leave you a bit mooringless in the beginning. Mandukya can do, Karika can do that. Leave you a bit mooringless. So hold on to Ishvara. Hold on to the knowledge of the self. That's all you can really hold on to. I am Nityam in the whole thing. Because everything that we do will be negated as Mithya. Everything that we hold on to. Everything that you have pegged your life on to give you some sense of stability is negated as mithya. If you are not doing it, your study is incomplete. No, Swamiji, to the extent possible I will do. What do you mean extent possible? So you want 10% moksha? Yeah, Panchavagation, you have a question.
Yeah, if we can hold on,
Yeah.
then itself it's mithya.
Yeah. But we are holding on.
You hold on means it is something which
Yeah.
is different than you.
Correct.
But
So that's why I said the knowledge is different from you. Hold on to the knowledge, I said.
Yes.
Knowledge is also mithya. The words are mithya. But hold on to
Veda,
that.
Veda Bhagavati, in the end.
Hold on to that until it's a fact of your life. Because that's the only thing you can hold on. Anything else you hold on will be shifting sands of time. It'll go. Don't hold on to that logic also. Let that also go. Where is the logic in it? The fact is I am consciousness. Logic kya hai? We depend a lot on logic in the modern world. Yeah, true. But there is nothing logical or illogical about the fact I am consciousness. It's a fact to be recognized, that's it. That's why the emphasis on the pramana. Shruti is the pramana. Previously I had said yukti and anubhava, but that yukti and anubhava is to gain the knowledge, that's all. Once you gain the knowledge, there is no yukti after that. What is yukti is only to explain to the students after that. It's direct. Your consciousness is direct perception for you. Direct understanding, like I am. I am is direct. I am consciousness is equally direct. I am limitlessness equally direct. I am ananda equally direct. Even if you are suffering from back pain. You are ananda, okay. Yeah. Like, I don't know whether my eyes are this thing or my specs are the I think the specs is I have to get it cleaned up. Yeah. Direct perception. I am. Perception in the sense of direct immediate knowledge. In that sense. So finally it becomes what? Atma vare drashtavya. See it very clearly. Direct immediate knowledge. Anything based on logic is not direct and immediate. So the logic is used to negate doubts, etc., so that it becomes direct and immediate. That's why it's not based on memory either. Teaching is based on memory. You have to remember the process, etc. Fine. But the fact that your consciousness is not based on memory. Yeah. I am is not based on memory. I am consciousness equally not based on memory. Once it is clear. If it is not clear, yes, then you can forget it. Yeah. As I said before, this knowledge will not go away even in amnesia. Because I am consciousness. You may appear a bit mad in the society because of amnesia. Because you are talking strange things. Amnesia, you get up, doctor asks you, who are you? You don't remember your name. What can you say? I am what I am. Where are you? Everywhere. Imagine the poor doctor. He won't discharge you from the hospital, keep you under observation. So you can appear mad. There have been stories of in the Puranas and the Mahabharata and all of wise people behaving like madmen. So probably it was something like this happening. You don't know. Yeah. You don't know why he behaved like that. There is one Jada Bharata who lived under a cart. The cart was a shelter in the marketplace. Yeah. The knowledge will be there. That won't go out. Once that anubhava, you have made it your own, the knowledge your own. You have validated that knowledge and it's your own. It won't go. Now we are constrained to use words like make it your own, etc. Okay? Why? Because of the problem of disowning my knowledge, etc. Habitual error, etc. Because the previous conditionings are so strong. I am the body is a very strong condition. I am a finite entity is very strong condition. Okay. My role conditionings are strong. Therefore, to drop that takes some time, to negate that takes time. Remember the old story, Puja Swamiji's story, of the beggar who became rich overnight. Though I am a poor man, conditioning is very strong. So all of us are beggars in life anyway, no? Why? Because we feel less. We always pray to the Lord, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. Yeah, being free from the conditionings. Knowledge means being free from the conditioning of even I am the body, I am the mind. That's also conditioning. Now, it's very peculiar. All right, I am free from the conditionings. I gained this knowledge, I am rooted. How will I function? Generally in keeping with your background. No? You will be comfortable in any type of functioning. Like I come from a liberal background. So in a modern liberal thing, I am very comfortable. But I have been in orthodox setups, I am comfortable there as well. What will be a natural functioning? Natural functioning will be your background, which is not a conditioning, it has just become a background for you. That's it. It's no more a conditioning. Like some of our Mandaleshwars or Shankaracharyas, they come from an orthodox background, so that is the normal conditioning for them. So that little bit orthodoxy will exist in them. That's something normal. They won't insist it on others, but on their own life they will have it. The best example was the sage of Kanchi. He would never insist on orthodoxy on anyone. The old Perivar, okay, who lived up to 100 years. He never insist on somebody else having it. Though he himself led an orthodox life. Because that was what his comfort level was, his background was. Yeah. That orthodoxy was not a conditioning, it was just a background for him. Yeah. Like someone comes from a corporate background and gains this knowledge. Having a few cups of tea and coffee during the day is natural for that person. No? You only realize how much tea and coffee you drink when you are in a corporate structure. Every couple of hours you are having a cup. No, this guy comes from a yoga background. Tea, coffee, I don't touch. Okay. Hey, is your background was right and wrong about it. Yeah. Background. So that will be there. It's not a conditioning, just a background. Conditioning of we are talking of major conditioning like this. Yeah. Sometimes your religious conditioning can be. I remember this one man, he walked into my class. This class was in an office setup. I was using their corporate hall for the class. Okay, about 30 people could comfortably sit there. So at the entrance to the office, there was a big Murti of Ganesha with a lamp lit and everything. Inside the conference hall, there is no place for lamp lighting and everything. So there is no lamp, there was no agarbatti, no photograph of Bhagwan, of Swamiji, nothing. So this man comes, sits in my class. Not traditional. There is no lamp. There is no agarbatti. There is no altar. Altar है बाहर है. No, I'll go to a more traditional class. And he joined a discussion group. I said, good, रहने दो. थोड़ा मार खा के वापस आएगा तो आएगा, नहीं तो next lifetime. So his idea of what a traditional class is was his conditioning. That's why I spoke last time. No? You meet a non-traditional teacher, what will happen? Traditional in the sense, in his lifestyle, non-traditional. Will he be able to learn? Yeah, if you really are my students, then I should be able to learn.
Yeah. You are not learning his lifestyle.
Yeah.
You are learning his teachings.
Like I studied from teachers who, if he would have a Muslim carpenter coming and working in his place, and he would offer him tea and all, tea, food, everything he would offer. But after the man is gone, he will say, that glass and plate, na, thoda raak se, clean it with ash, not just water and other things. He had that feeling. There was orthodoxy in him, background. So when I studied with Taranandagiri, I got him nice Vim powder to clean the utensils. अच्छा ठीक है, उससे साफ करना, लेकिन उसका बाद थोड़ा मट्टी से भी साफ कर देना. So we used to say, okay, first we are cleaning it with soap, then we are dirtying it with mud and keeping it. But that was his background. He felt there is a proper way to clean it. Do you need to correct that? You ensure that after that it is cleaned nicely with water. So there is no traces of that mud. And that was special mud, okay? Bought from the Ganges bank and kept. How do you know that? Because I used to bring it when I was staying there. So I know. Yeah, childhood conditioning. See, what is the conditioning? A conditioning is when I shift from it, I feel very uncomfortable. Background is something I am comfortable with, that's all. I am not uncomfortable if that shifts. Yeah. Like same Taranandagiri came and stayed for some time in our Coimbatore ashram. So he didn't bother to tell them, clean the thing with mud also. That was in his setup. This setup, whatever is correct here, I'll follow that. It's just a background, not a conditioning. If that made him uncomfortable, then yes, that's a conditioning. It's not a conditioning because अलग-अलग देश काल की रिवाज अलग-अलग होता है. Yeah. So that is where the whole thing is. Because finally what it is, it has all to culminate. What is the category difference between unknowability and what? Let me look at that question.
Swamiji, thank you first of all for sharing this link. This is my first lecture with you.
Okay,
so,
welcome.
One question is, there are so many things happening in the universe which I don't know about. So as long as it doesn't float into my vision, I have no reactions to those. So that is not knowing. And
No, we are not talking about unknowability like that. We are talking of, you're reading the translation. I said that which cannot be objectified. I didn't translate this as unknowability. That is what the translation says. And unfortunately, we don't have better translations. That's why I clarified by saying that which I cannot objectify. I cannot have a subject-object relationship with. This is your first class and you're starting with one of the most difficult texts. Attend the Gita more, a lot of things will become more clear.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. So there is where the whole thing is. A conditioning is where I feel uncomfortable if that shifts. Background is just background, ठीक है. Like many of our teachers, acharyas, you might have seen some of them, will not wear a kurta, they will only wear an upavastra. What they have picked up. I am comfortable with the kurta, public transport in Bombay, so I'll wear it. Why? The upavastram is the South Indian style. Because Puja Swamiji had the South Indian style, everyone followed that. This is the North Indian style. Oh, but we are all South Indian. Revade. We are not South Indian, North Indian, we are nothing but pure consciousness. That's it. The moment you say, but this is our culture, no? Conditioning has come in. We are talking about Vasudeva Kutumbakam, and now you are talking about how you wear your kurta or angavastra. How can I not but laugh at this? And then you expect to understand I am pure consciousness. It doesn't work like that. That is why, no, in the camp we'll be doing Ramana's text. One place he says, I didn't feel like eating, they said I was fasting. I didn't feel like talking, they said I am keeping Mauna Vrata. I simply sat down, they said I was meditating. Oh Arunachala, you know what it's all about. Projections of people, which comes from our conditionings, not just background. Conditionings are allowed in the projections. Come into the projection. Background is background, ठीक है. हाँ, अपने अपनी इच्छा से जो करना है करें. स्वामी जी, बट ये गलत है ना. वो जाने उनके गुरु जाने, बस सिंपल. दिस इज ऋषिकेश. वो जाने उनके गुरु जाने. Who are we to say right or wrong? And who says this? Not ordinary sadhus. Great Acharya says this. Okay? वो जाने उनके गुरु जाने. So, that neti is negating of everything that you are not. Starting with your conditionings onwards, starting with your notions, starting with this. Don't hold on to it under the name of culture, heritage, this, that, etc. Yes, culture, heritage are beautiful. It's a blessing to be born in this heritage and culture. Nobody denies that. But don't hold on to it and let it be a conditioning.
So, can I ask a question?
Shoot.
Yeah. So this I am Ananda is that an understanding or is that an experience?
Understanding always. Experience of Ananda is through objects, through situations, through people.
Through the mind.
Understanding I am Ananda is also through the mind, but it's an understanding that Ananda, there really speaking, is limitlessness. Anantam. It's Anantam that manifests as Ananda. Yeah. So it's always understanding. Okay. Oops. Okay, we have done only 2 verses this time, but okay, 3 verses. Good place to stop. More of this we will see in next class. Okay. Om Tat Sat.